So, not all wounds come from what happens to us. Some actually come from what never happened, from what we didn't receive. You see, most people think trauma is about these big events, a major loss, a tragic moment, a physical scar. But oftentimes, the deepest wounds are the quiet ones. The moments, where no one checked in on you whenever you were hurting, no one asked how you were feeling, or no one reassured you that your feelings even mattered. But you gotta understand, it's not because they didn't care. It's because they didn't know how to show up for you emotionally. And when you grow up without an emotional connection, it doesn't just make you feel lonely, it teaches you that your feelings don't even matter. Now, certainly, that's not the truth, but again, that's how our brain interprets what's going on. And it's that belief that shapes everything. You see, I wasn't physically abandoned after my mom left. I had a home, I had people around me, but what I didn't have is I didn't have emotional connection, I didn't feel seen, and I didn't have the knowing that my emotions were safe to express. You see, my dad, he was physically present. He provided, he worked, he came home, but emotionally, it wasn't there. But it's not because he didn't love me. Rather, he just wasn't raised to express love in a deep way. So when I was hurting or confused or struggling, I didn't feel like I had anyone to talk to. But not because my family didn't care, but they just weren't emotionally available. And when a child doesn't receive emotional validation, their brain does something dangerous. It stops expecting it, it stops believing that their emotions are important, and they start assuming that they just have to deal with things alone. So I did what a lot of kids do in that situation. I shut down. I stopped asking for help and I just kept everything inside. And that's how emotional neglect works. It's not about what was done to you, it's about what wasn't there that you needed the most. So here's the part people don't talk about. When you grow up feeling emotionally neglected, it doesn't just make you quiet. It changes how you interact with the world. You struggle to trust people because deep down you think that no one is really there for you anyway. You don't know how to express emotions in a healthy way because nobody taught you what to do with them. You either push people away or you attach too quickly because you've been conditioned to either expect rejection or to just desperately seek what's missing. And this can be, the behavior where you just smother somebody. You just always want to talk to them, always want to be around them, and you just smother them because you're looking for that connection. You're desperately seeking that connection. And we all know desperation reeks and repels. That can even happen with the dynamic from a parent to a child, that child can just want that attention from that parent so much, and that acceptance from that parent so much that they smother the parent. Now, parents are human. They feel the same emotions despite the fact that it may be coming from their child. If someone's just smothering you all the time, you're going to have a negative reaction. And so naturally, when I would do that, my parent would have a natural negative reaction, pushing me away, reaffirming that I'm unworthy of love or affection. And so that's what I grew up with. Oftentimes I pushed people away. Certainly as I got older in relationships, I pushed people away before they could leave me. I sabotaged every relationship because emotional closeness, it really felt unsafe subconsciously. And the other thing is I turned to addiction, unbeknownst to me, but the emotions that I was feeling, they needed an escape. And so drugs became that escape for me. And this is really why people get stuck in these destructive cycles. It's not that they want to destroy things. It's not that they want to ruin things. It's just because they were never taught how to handle heavy emotions in a healthy way. And look, you might not have realized it, but emotional neglect could be affecting you as well. It could be you struggling to open up, even to people that you love. It could be feeling like your problems are not big enough to matter. It could be ignoring your emotions until they just explode. And it could also be feeling like you have to be independent even when you need help. It's not random. It's a pattern that we've created. But the good news is our patterns can be broken. You can't change what happened to you, but you can change how you respond to it moving forward. And the first step is you have to recognize that your emotions do matter. For years, I dismissed my own feelings. I didn't think I had a right to feel upset. But healing starts when you acknowledge that your feelings do matter, no matter how small. Now, hear me out. There is a difference between what I just said and always being a victim for the attention of the fact. Because there are manipulative people in the world who use their emotions as this, oh, poor me, everything that I've been through. And that's not what this is about. They're not even trying to heal. Because if they healed, then they would no longer be the person with the story. Because their whole identity is in their traumatic childhood. Feel sorry for me because my childhood sucked so bad. Everybody had a traumatic experiences in their childhood. So this isn't about being a victim. This isn't about just carrying it on forever. This is about this crazy stuff happened. Here's what it did to affect me for the rest of my life. And here's where I fixed it and never had to deal with it again and moved on. And now enjoy a wonderful, blessed, amazing life. That's what this is about. Not about victimhood. It's about healing yourself and moving on. So you don't have to continue telling the same story like, oh, poor me. That's not it. But if you are serious about trying to figure this thing out, about, revisiting your past so that you can heal it and move on, another thing is you're going to have to learn how to express emotions in a healthy way. One thing you can do, you can try journaling. You can try just writing down how you feel, just getting it out. Oftentimes just getting it out on a piece of paper is so cathartic that it just helps you. It opens up your mind, and literally whenever you're writing, things are popping up that you didn't even know were bothering you. And so you're able to download that stuff and feel better, feel lighter. The next thing is talking to someone that you trust. Talk to somebody that understands this, not somebody that's just gonna, oh, you poor thing. Like that's not doing anything. That's keeping you in the victim mentality. You need to talk to somebody that can actually dissect what you've been through, why you're going through what you're going through currently, and how to fix it. And another thing, and this is the hardest part, is just sitting with your emotions instead of trying to escape from them. Escapism is the drug of choice in the world. We don't want to sit with our emotions, so we keep ourselves distracted, watching TV, getting drunk, doing drugs. We never just sit. We're always distracting ourselves. And by just always distracting yourself, you never allow yourself to process emotions because your brain's always thinking about the next thing instead of just sitting and figuring it out. So finally, if you grew up feeling emotionally neglected, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong, but now as an adult, you have the power to rewrite the script. And now, due to the universal law of exposure, you've been exposed to the message. There are no coincidences. So now you got to do something about it and remind yourself you still have that child inside of you. So you need to remind that child that's inside of you that your emotions do matter, that you're not a burden, that you are capable of healing. So thank you so much. If you haven't already, hit the little bell icon so that you can be notified when I drop another video in this series. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button. That really helps to get the message out to more people so more people can see the video so that they can potentially be healed and touched by it. Also, leave a comment below because all this stuff, it helps the algorithm, right? And helps push this video out to more people. With that said, make good choices, and I'll see you next time.